Stream going, boys. All right, goals for today. I actually just sat down at the battle station for the first time, and so yesterday I left off with environment variables, and I wanted to do that off stream just because I don't want to have to rotate all my keys. So I'm actually using a software called, with the idea that this is going to be the boilerplate for agentic software end to end, and I want it to be really easy to set up, like super low barrier to entry, like someone who doesn't know most things about software could probably wait, where'd it go? Should be able to start and use this off the rip without knowing too much about software. That's the whole goal. Which there's some pros and cons to different things, which means maybe you have to use some extra different types of companies, right? So environment variables can always be tricky, in my opinion, and so especially knowing which environment variables need to go where, and keeping those all in sync across dev, stage, and prod. So with all that said, I'm using a software called Doppler, which is a secrets manager, and you add them all in one place on different branches. I have dev, which is my local environment here. We have stage, which is a test environment out in the wild once we deploy stuff. And then we have prod, which is the production environment. So stoked about that. That was in my docs, which I was planning on using that off the rip. So I got that implemented yesterday, which is dope. So we're getting currently where we're at. It's obviously not pretty at all. But we have authentication set up through Clerk that goes, you sign up or sign in. Which is nice. Little animation. You'll sign up, and it goes and gets the Doppler keys for everything, and then goes into the Neon Postgres database and creates different entries for the users, right? So the way we're doing this is built to be multi-tenant, to where one user has a workspace and they can add additional users to that workspace if they want, right? So we're good to go there unless I run into any bugs. So the next thing will be, I want to get Stripe set up today for trial account billing trial account and then billing. So more of a logistical day for setup. I don't want to build any features. Like, there's no features going into this first probably 10 days of stream, to be honest. This is just getting the boilerplate set up for a working app with monitoring, rate limiting, caching, billing, authentication, obviously, mock APIs. So this is like strictly boilerplate for any app to come. So the first couple days of the daily live stream inevitably are going to be pretty boring, very businessy, I guess, and less what people like to build, which is features and products and stuff, and more of just the nuts and bolts of every app, and building it in an agentic way where I think is scalable to tens of thousands of users, based on previous experience and stuff like that. So currently we have the auth and the database set up. So next would be billing. Like, even the way it looks is terrible, which makes me cringe, but like I just don't want to get into any visual things or any features. My theory with building software, and it's been this way for a very long time, is make it work, make it pretty, and make it fast, right? So our step one for any MVP, which MVP for me currently is the boilerplate, step one is just making it work. I don't care that it looks shitty. If I were to nitpick everything, it would take me ages to get to like a baseline, and then you'd start adding in new stuff that's not even baseline anymore. So anyways, to recap, make it work, make it pretty, make it fast. We're on the make it work side of boilerplate, and today we're gonna work on integrating Stripe into this. I already have some secret keys created. I already have some webhooks created that I did late last night. Literally was up until 3 a.m. locking in. And today is the 17th, and I said on odd days we're going to be using Codex. No, I said on odd days we're going to use Claude. So technically it's a Claude day, but I kind of want to use Codex though, to be honest. I already have it open over here, but it's an odd day, so we're going to use we're going to use Claude like we said we were going to. So one thing I did have to do yesterday, just of note, is the way Clerk works and Doppler work. I'm not a big networking person, and so I don't really know how stuff gets proxied between different services. But I had to set up a tunnels. Oops. I had to set up what Claude or Codex and I said was going to be a tunnels, like a pass through, so that I can paste in this URL so that it's not localhost, so that all this stuff works locally. But in staging and in production, this will be actually irrelevant. So, and it's not connected right now because my VPN is on, which is annoying because this machine specifically, yeah, it's just annoying. So anytime I want to use this, I have to turn it off. Today is concerned, we are moving right along. Towards billing. So the way that I want to do this currently is free signups. Obviously, you can sign up to the app with just using your email or TikTok or whatever, get saved to the database so that we have that record. And so we can market to that person before they even put in their credit card, right? I don't want them to have to put in their credit card for me to capture their email. That's super important. Lowest barrier to entry to get some sort of information from someone who is raising their hand basically is amazing, right? And so if I can get that without them having to like put in their credit card information, even better. Which means, you know, in the long term, conversion rates will probably be lower because some people will just enter the email willy-nilly versus someone who really wants to see what the app is like, and so they're willing to put in their credit card information. So, but yeah, there's different ways to do it. This is the way I'm choosing to do this one. I think it makes the most sense because email lists or contact lists are very important in marketing and sales, and that's what we're focusing on this whole streaming journey, is more the marketing and sales side of Agentic SaaS. Yes, the Agentic SaaS is going to be dope. It's actually going to be freaking sick, but focusing more on the agentic side of things. The marketing and sales side of things. See, my brain is like, dude, agents, AI. Anyways, all right, let's kick this off and start a new Claude session. I already cleared it. So, let's get going. Actually, whilst we're here, I didn't commit this yesterday because I said this on stream the other day. It's like I am very irresponsible when it comes to committing stuff. Auth and Doppler, git push. Okay. See, I never even pushed it to. All right, let's go back into GitHub. Soku, compare pull requests. And I want to get this to where it's going to be fully agentic end to end. So feature auth and domain, yeah. And so there's like a PR reviewer in here too though, but that's going to be a little bit down the line. We do have type check and lint and run tests, which is dope. Basically like the CI/CD is the CI part of things. That was quick. I love Vercel. So what I'm thinking about right now as this is doing the CI pipeline for tests and stuff is the way we're going to implement billing. So once the user has signed up and is on, you know, the dashboard page or something, I'm thinking we do feature flags that are gated by roles or subscription status. And so if they're not an active subscriber or trialing, they won't be able to access anything, you know. And there is the argument where someone a little more savvy can go in, a little more savvy can go in and bypass the modals, which is valid. Kind of fine. Let's set up this first. Before being able to push to remote, I want to run different checks. I want to run lint type checks, and I want to run the tests, and they all must be passing before we push to remote with no exceptions. Mm-hmm. Well, I really want this to happen pre-commit autonomously. Oh. I want this to happen pre-commit autonomously. Right now we're just making the boilerplate to where it runs lint, type check, and tests before we commit, so that we don't get, hopefully we don't get into, when we're in GitHub, we don't get these CI errors, because there's really no reason why that should happen, unless we're PRing into another branch and then something got messed up between the two of those. So pre-commit hooks, runs on every commit, catches issues early, I think, but every commit pays the 30-second tax. See, I like pre-commit more because it catches it super early, because you could commit stuff. You could do git commit 5 or 6 times before you're ready to push, and then you get slapped in the face with a ton of errors. So, but that is true as far as the developer experience. It is time. Yeah, so we'll just do push. And we'll definitely do Husky because I love Husky. Typically I like commit more, but we'll run with push. Mm-hmm. Streaming is actually the easiest thing to do, to be honest. And the only reason people don't stream is because they're afraid to have 0 viewers. But it's like, dude, if I'm in my office grinding anyways, there's 0 people watching me do it anyways. So it's like, why not throw up a live stream, talk mentally out loud, which I do to myself anyways, to no viewers, you know? And the possibility of someone coming to hang out and chat and whatever is higher then someone knocking on my door happened to know that I'm streaming, and then like come up in my office and hang out with me. So it's like, if I'm in here all day grinding anyways, like why not just stream about it? So I think fear is a huge limiter to what a lot of people do. I assume, yeah. So anyways, okay, 3 commits on the feature auth ahead of main. Want me to commit these changes and then push? No, I'll do it myself. Oops. Clear, I like a clear terminal always. See what changed. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if it works, because I should have to change some things because this one failed. So if it's working, it should not be working, if that makes sense. Add pre-push hooks. So, so now I should do a bunch of tests. Passing. Well, that passed. So now I'm confused. Let's see if this passes this time. It should, according to this, unless there's some misconfiguration between the two. So I think this is super important as a boilerplate. As a boilerplate project, it's like you don't want to have to run into those outside of your IDE, right? That's the whole point of agentic stuff. Even when the agent will be running on its own, it will be writing its own features and stuff like that. Like 2 weeks from now or so, is being able to catch those early. Because no matter how much an agent or LLMs write code, they're not going to catch everything. So we have to build in automatic checks for it to catch along the way when it does do this on its own, right? So Mason, hey, thanks for the sub, big dog. Thanks for coming to hang out as well. Hope your Sunday is going well. It is a beautiful day, I think. My office actually has no windows by design because we locked in, boys. Big outdoors guy, and so if I see it's like a nice day, I'm gonna want to go on a walk, go to the pool, go take the dirt bike out, something. So those doors over yonder are closed by design. We're locked in. I should probably put like a graphic like up here or something, like to explain what we're doing, at least for the day, because some people might not know. Maybe like a weekly goal and like a daily goal would be cool. I'm new to streaming, so kind of just figuring this out as I go along. But for today, we're setting up a boilerplate project for Agentic SaaS to where anyone who is not a developer, not a software engineer, not typically trained, can take this and then go from 0 to literally like 9 overnight. My background is in software. I've been a developer for a web dev for about 6 years now. And it's a good gig, but I've always wanted to do my own thing. And so I've always wanted to stream. And obviously with these new tools coming out, LLMs and stuff, I came in like right before the LLM era. So there's guys that have been in the industry for like 20 years that would laugh at my experience. But it sounds crazy now, but like even just 3 years ago, like we still hand typed everything. Like there was no willy-nilly generation or whatever. Versus now, it's changed so much. And most developers that I know are using AI to be their coding assistant, at least even in that term, pretty much daily. So I don't think that software engineering will go away as a whole. I still think that there's bad software being written But I think the way it's being written is going to change over time, and I think software engineers will have more stake in the decision process of what gets written, what doesn't get written, what technologies to use, what technologies to build yourself and like bring them in-house basically. So yeah, what was I doing? This thing failed again. What's your background, Mason? You into, how do you use AI today in your day-to-day, if you're still here? Okay, what is going on here? And for this project, I'm like strictly trying to do everything with AI. Like I don't really want to I don't want to hand code anything by design, but sometimes I might have to. I don't know, we'll see. Let's just give this to the LM and see what it says. This failed the CI pipeline in GitHub when I pushed to remote. Hello? Whisperflow. That's dope, dude. Dude, 100%. I don't know if I can click. I can't. Maybe I can go to YouTube and do it. I'm doing this. I'm streaming via OBS. Why didn't this work? One second. The CI pipeline failed in GitHub when I pushed to remote. This is the output. No, I'll go sub to you, dude, because like part of this journey, my streaming journey today for this app, is not only to build the boilerplate and but then build my product on top of that. It's kind of like a marketing and sales journey. I said that earlier in the stream. I said it earlier in the stream where building features and building software isn't really impressive anymore. Like anyone can build anything. And so the real skill is going to be how you push the SaaS or how you push whatever it is that you're building, right? And so marketing is so important moving forward. So I will definitely sub to your shit and join and tune in, dude, because I have a lot to learn. I've done I ran a marketing agency and I had like 2 clients, and then I got burned by one client that I was like partnered with in his business, and it like took the wind out of my sails. So I diverted back to like software stuff, which is fine. Like I'm not whining about it, but all that to say, I don't know too much about marketing, but it's super important. So any industry that you've been in specifically, I gotta go find. Let me see if I can find it. Because I'm on OBS right now. It's gonna be weird. Oh wait, can I just... Mason Mooney AI. Can I search users? Can I do, wait, can I go here? Ah, found you. Nice. 5 subscribers. Update that shit. Hell yeah, dude. I like this. This is kind of sick. It's kind of dope, actually. Sick, dude. Yeah, start streaming. I want to say you may have come in right before I said this or right after I said this or something. No, but my whole theory about streaming, dude, is like if I'm going to be in here grinding anyways, I might as well just like turn the camera on and talk to myself, even if there's zero viewers. And my logic is, it's like, okay, I'm in my office by myself, right? And so at a bare minimum, that's dope. Oh, the header. No, but if I'm in my office by myself, the worst it can get is I'm by myself. And so if I turn on the camera and start streaming, which I've always wanted to do, but I've been a little bitch too, to be honest. It's like, oh, no one's gonna watch. You're gonna make fun of me. It's like, who cares? But the likelihood of someone to come and hang out is so much higher than someone knocking on my door and asking to come hang out in my office with me while I code or whatever. My camera is the Sony A6100 with a prime lens on it. It's like a 1.6 aperture. I want to say it's a 16 mil. 16 millimeter lens. Yeah, 16 mil, 1.4 aperture. I'll DM you the spec. I want to say it's like a $800 setup. I bought this years ago though for some unrelated stuff. It's a pretty nice camera though. It's got like the really good bokeh, so if I were to be closer or whatever, it's a dope camera, dude. Yeah, for sure. And I will say a lot of what makes it look good is the LED lights in the back. It just gives it depth of field, right? And so it's like it looks dope when it's all blurry and stuff. I need to invest in another light. I have like a $10 ring light right here, and so it's like not the best. So sometimes I'll go to this website. Let's see if it comes up when I type white. Yeah, sometimes I go to this website right here. It's just like a pure white screen, and it like lights up my face a little bit. And so I'll put it like over on the side, or I guess it's that side. I'll put it like over on the side of my screen. So I'll like drag it. You won't be able to see it, but I'll like drag it over here, or I'll drag it onto this monitor and like go full screen. So it's like this big white light in my face. But I need to. That's my scrappiness, dude. I need to get another light. Okay, so you said, yeah, it's you find ways to be creative when you don't want to spend money. I don't mind spending money. Obviously, I have a nice camera and a good setup and stuff, but it's like, I won't buy something until I've thought about needing it for like 3 or 4 months. And it's like, okay, do I still need it? Do I actually need it? Do I really need it? So yeah, but I do need one. So you said you ran your own company for 9 years, did very well. No course, no social media, doing 20k monthly profit. That's so dope, dude. Hell yeah. That's dope. That's sick. Are you still running your own company? I guess I could go to your YouTube and figure out. Wait, what was I just doing? Shoot. Did I just quit VS Code on accident? I think I just quit VS Code on accident. Nice. That's dope. What a noob. Command Tab and Command Q are entirely too close to each other. I will say I've never done that though. I've never accidentally quit an application. Okay, you're shifting more to AI development. Marketing been slow. Okay, I got you. I got you. Let's get rid of this one and then clear this. What do you think is the driving factor to marketing being slow? I don't care about this. Let's go over here. As someone who's been in the industry for a really long time, Yeah, what's your opinion on why marketing's been slow? What was I doing? Oh yeah, PNPM install. PNPM dev. I love turbo repos, which is a mono repo. Mono meaning just everything's all in one place. Because when I do PNPM dev, which is like booting up every dev environment, it does it all in here in the TUI, and so I can just cycle through these things. This is not working right now, but don't worry about it. And see and test everything locally, which is dope. Sometimes it's like a bottleneck for people. Yeah. Companies having minimal budgets right now. I bet, Big Dog. Hey, thanks for coming to hang out, dude. Start streaming. I swear to God, I'll be a viewer. Let's go, bro. Let's go. All right, where was I? I messed up the pipeline failed. Okay, let's go from here. I don't think I made any changes. Yes, sir. Peace. All right, let's see if that worked. See if that worked. Ooh, nice. I like that. Okay, I don't know why I added all those things on there, but it did push. Sure. Yes. Let's go back to GitHub and see if this pipeline passes or not. In theory it should, because this one passed. Need to figure out a better way. Maybe we'll do this. Yeah, I'll do this. Why didn't I think about that before? Why doesn't it stay there? I don't know. Why did I pin that thing? I don't know. Alright. Did it fail again, dude? What? After adding those changes, I'm still getting an error in the pipeline. The following is the error. Dude, are you serious? Was it not? After pushing those changes to remote, I'm still getting errors in the CI pipeline. The following are those errors. There we go. Doink. There's a failing test in there. I don't know why it failed in there and didn't fail in here. It was It was the database billing schema. Some environment stuff. The usual suspects. I don't know why it's doing that. It's so annoying. Maybe I could put it over here. All right. Test pass locally now. Update test. Get push. We're just trying to get this project to a boilerplate baseline to where it is usable by someone with any skill level to have a production level Agentic SaaS application end to end, from marketing to debugging. That's what we're trying to get to. And today specifically, we're trying to wrap up the authentication, which we're using Clerk for that, and then try and get Stripe billing in its most basic form integrated, at least. My theory with building, this guy always calls me when I'm streaming, dude. Literally every time. Well, it's actually only happened twice now, but yeah, my theory with building software is make it work, make it pretty, make it fast. So right now the site looks like absolute dookie. Like there's nothing, oops. Like it looks like poo, right? But I don't care, right? I'm not trying to make it look pretty right now. I'm trying to make it work first. In its most basic form. So that is the goal for today, is getting Stripe set up to where I can onboard, at least even test users with trial accounts, 30 day or 7-day trials, and then get the webhooks set up. Maybe today we can do this. I don't know, it might be a long day, but get the webhook set up to where it automatically upgrades them and upgrades the database and all that stuff when the webhooks from Stripe fire. So like customer.payment.updated or something. I can't remember what they're called exactly. I guess I could go look. Events. Invoice paid or something like that. These are old ones, but yeah. So that's the goal for today, is to get Stripe set up. But currently DB is set up, authentication is set up, even though it looks like poo. And yeah, I think that is the end. If this passes, and we have a check mark, so that's good. So we're good there. We'll merge this into main. It's into main right now. We'll get checkout main. Do a get Polsky. So now we have all of our previously changed things on main, and then we'll do a get checkout -b Stripe. Oh, feature Stripe. Feature Stripe. All right, cool. Has anyone tried /goal yet? I don't really understand how this is different than any other prompt, because like, shouldn't it, like, you're telling it to do something and it should do it until it's done. And so I don't understand why or how it matters if they set up some sort of like auxiliary, slash command or skilled where it's like, hey, do this until it's done. But maybe we'll try it. The goal for this session is to get Stripe set up in the developer environment to where once a user signs up, they are directed to a dashboard page on the application and presented with a modal prompting them to pick a tier that will lead them to a Stripe checkout and then redirect them back to the app once it succeeds, including error handling and edge cases. Read the mysoku-stack.md for additional information on how the billing should occur. I don't know. Let's see what that does. Maybe it'll ask me some more questions. Maybe that's part of the goal. No. No. It's the other one. Wait, what? I don't know why it keeps doing this to me. It's literally in the directory. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I'm building this app specifically for aspiring SaaS founders that have like a banger idea, but that think or that may or may not know that software is more than just front end and back end, right? Tools like Lovable, they do this. They give you a front end, they give you a back end, and most of the back end is like serverless functions that get hit and you could get spammed and it would crash within probably like 100 or 200 users using it daily. Because they don't, most of these companies and LLMs and stuff, they don't build their products to generate scalable code. They build it to produce results based on the query, based on speed. Whatever the quickest way to the goal that you ask me to do is what I want. And so they don't realize that there's like caching, rate limiting, security, load balancing, and like a slew of other things. I need to flesh this list out for like everything that goes into it. Like we could add end-to-end testing. like so that you don't regress the app when like there's a bug in there. So yeah, there's like software is way more than just looks and basic functionality. So for what it's worth. For what it's worth. Right now we're working on Stripe billing, and we use the /goal, the new goal command, and it's doing a bunch of stuff. So we'll see. I'm not even gonna lie though. I started using Codex yesterday for the first time. I've been a Claude guy for the past year or so. And I kind of want to use Codex, to be honest. But today is an odd day, and so I'm using Claude on odd days, at least until my usage limits get used up. Or Claude on odd days, Codex on even days. So today's the 17th. Verify. See, I like this. Yeah. Oops. I don't need env local. I don't need any envs in this project because I'm using Doppler. Doppler is dope. I recently got put on to Doppler. Basically an environment service to where it's like all your keys in one place. So especially in mono repos where you have your API, you have your MCP, you'll have your web, like your different workflow workers, think like event-driven architecture. Each one of these would have to have an env file in it, and multiple env files at that, like a .local, a .stage, and maybe a prod, or just regular .env. And so Doppler handles that. You just do them all in one place. You'll have your dev, which is my local environment. You have stage, which is a testing environment. And then you'll have prod, which is obviously out in the wild. And I don't need any of these keys in here. And so this will be really helpful for early stage founders that don't particularly know the in and outs of code, especially during setup. If I were to like give this to people, give this boilerplate to people, and it's like, oh, put this key in this folder. And it's like the wires could get crossed. So Doppler really helps streamline that process to where it's like, you don't have to do that. Just put them all in Doppler, which is free until 3 users. I think you get 3 free users per account or something like that. But if you're a solo founder, like you don't need that many people, especially not for keys and stuff. So it could be you and a developer or whatever. So Doppler's sick. Okay, post billing checkout session and get billing status endpoints. What are we building right now? Modules, billing. And I'm using a bunch of different skills in here to where it's setting up the it's doing all these by itself, right? So it's creating, not that it's test-driven development because we're not writing our tests first, but we're just making sure that everything we write has a test that goes along with it. So there should be a test file that comes up along here in a second. env by tier. Yeah, we'll see how this works. I need to add no unused imports into the lint, because I don't like even the idea, like one of the first files that I clicked into has an unused import. Like, that just slows stuff down. I bet there's more. Yeah, there's literally nothing in here right now, but test. Now I'm gonna be like hyper fixated on finding unused imports. So now I need to go back in, just add that in there. Let's just do that right now. As a part of the lint check via Husky, I want to add, oh shoot. Always do that, dude. As a part of the pre-push hook from Husky, I want to add in a check to make sure that there's no unused imports. Yeah. What? It didn't do... Is it like trying to summarize what I said instead of like writing the actual words in there? I kind of like what it used to be is just like full dialogue. But maybe it's better for token usage. But like, dude, 3 words, an in there, which like remove the ums, sure. But as far as token usage goes, like I don't think it's that serious. I've honestly hardly ever hit rate limits on AI usage in Claude Code. And I only have the $100 subscription plan, and I use it pretty much all day. Let's see where we're at right now. Is this valid right now? 9%. Yeah, I've been on here getting down for about, I actually don't know how, for about 45 minutes now. But I started a little bit earlier than that, so I'd say about an hour, and we're only at 9%. So, and it resets in, well, maybe it resets in 4 hours. So if I were to grind for 4 hours, I guess it would fill up. But yeah. Nice. Add test for billing pieces. That's what I said was going to happen earlier. No unused locales. ESLint unused. I like. Why does it always have like this recommended one? I guess I'm not using ESLint anywhere else. And I'm using TypeScript for everything else. We'll just use that one. Because if it wouldn't have said recommended, I'm used to using ESLint, and I would have picked ESLint. I wish it would have told me why it suggested that I use TS, whatever it said. I can't remember. Yes. No unused locales. Probably because I'm already using that. TS, yeah. I wonder what... Oops. No! Oh, I thought I canceled this whole thing. Maybe I did I? Hopefully not. Oh, I did. Let's see if we can just continue. I wonder if this is the same YouTube video that I was listening to earlier. Yeah, it is. This song's kind of a little fruity, though. I'm not gonna lie about it. I don't know how I feel about it. I love EDM music. I'm actually going to Tomorrowland in Bangkok in December. It's gonna be absolute fire, gas like out of my ass, dude. It's gonna be dope. But this song, whatever this one is, isn't hitting it for me. All right, well, this one is done. Those clients took the baseline that turned out to be clean. No existing violations across the 14 type check tasks. Stripe namespace errors I saw in my first run came stale. Okay. Let's see what it did, dude. See what happens when oh, nice. Goal achieved. Goal achieved. First thing that happens when I go to dashboard. Module not found. The IP out of index. Where is this? Packages schema source index. That's really funny, dude. Let's give it to it and see what it says. Yeah. Buddy calls me literally every time I'm streaming. So, bro, I can't answer. I'm working right now. I could answer, but I don't know. When I'm locked in, dude, I'm locked in. I don't wanna talk to anyone. I should probably have my phone on like do not disturb or whatever. But yeah, he's called me twice now, 3 times now when I've been on stream. I'll call him back, I promise. So I just gave Claude I used the new /goal command and was like basically follow the docs that I already had set up and implement billing into this site in its most basic form. And I went to /dashboard and like got smacked in the face with this error like off the rip, which is funny. But packages schema source index. What? I feel like that shouldn't be an error though. Packages schema source index. API index.js. What? It's literally. Oh, it's TS. That's why. Dude, is it literally taking this long for it to figure out that it's the wrong? That it's. Yes, that's what? Now, why are you doing that? What? Oh, wait. Billing index.ts. What? Are you crazy? Add an import path can only end with TS extension if allow importing extensions is enabled. Well, what's the other alternative? Yes. Like, why wouldn't you do that? TS config. Is that what we're doing here? Is that the fix? Like, I don't understand why that would be the issue. Billing, why is it doing billing.js? Like, why? That's regarded.js. The fix is next to the amount of repo to instructions need transpile packages. Tells Next.js bundle or topack to compile the packages. TS aware, JS, TS resolution. Restart PNPM dev to pick up the config change. Oh. I just don't know why you wouldn't just say TS for the TypeScript file that it is. Let me just ask. Don't make any code changes. I'm just curious. Why import them as .js files when in actuality they are TypeScript files? And why make this config change and not just import them as TypeScript files to begin with? See, it. I was saying stuff earlier. I feel like WhisperFlow is... Fair question. Short version, it's a constraint of how TypeScript handles imports for ES-targeted output. See, I didn't know this. I've been developing for 7 years. I did not know this. Why JS and not TS? TypeScript does not write import paths during compilation. Okay, so maybe I've just never seen that before. I'm just confused why it's doing that. Maybe we'll just undo. Right, we'll undo that. We'll go pnpm install again, and then pnpm dev. It should start all the servers again and pick up those config file changes. Maybe. Okay, this is in schema source index, API index.js again. Wait. I just don't like that. Can't we just add in... Dude, I don't know if it's my mic or what, but it's like not picking up my words. Can't we just add in the following into the tsconfig base.json? There we go. See what it says. Yes, you can. It doesn't actually fix the underlying problem. It lets you type check that code, imports it. Still won't rewrite the extension in the mid time. The flag is gated on no emit. Let's see what happens. Redo these. And then schema source domain index.ts. Schema source index domain. Index. It's literally all of them. I've never heard of this ever in my life. All the imports are .ts files, but in the terminal, or sorry, in the web app, when I go to run it, it keeps giving me the same errors for every single one of them, even though the config files have changed. It's literally every import that is .ts. curious what Codex would say. I know that my rule is on odd days I use Claude and on even days I use Codex, but I'm just curious what 5.5 high would do with the same prompt. Where did it go? Okay, where's my last prompt? Oh, right here. I'm blind. I don't want it to like duplicate efforts though. No emit. Oh, maybe it's that. Now revert the transpop. What up, party people? How's y'all's Sunday going so far? I hear it's a beautiful day outside, but I wouldn't know. There's no windows in my office by design. We locking in. I will say I do have a tea time later though. Tea time at 5:18. So I'll be streaming up until close to that, I think. Well, I'm trying to stream until I get Stripe set up in this boilerplate application in its most basic form. So we'll see what happens. But I'm running into some config issues right now with imports. Curious if anyone else is a builder using Codex or Claude. I previously hadn't used Codex at all up until yesterday or 2 days ago. But one of my buddies told me that 5.5 was goated, and I used it yesterday, and indeed, it was goated. It was dope. It one-shot a couple of things that I asked it to do. Pretty big things. Took like 19 minutes, which I think is always a good barometer for success, is like how long it takes. And I didn't have to change anything, so I'm a fan of the new model. That's the thing about these models, dude, and companies is like it's only going to get better. The likelihood of the next model being worse than the previous, pretty low. They have so much data, dude. They have so much data on, they collect everything. Like every single line of code that Claude generates and every user prompt that comes after that line is being logged somewhere in a database, and they have information on it. And so it's like, oh, this wasn't a good line. This was a good line. And so it's just going to like reinforcement learning in the future. So coding with LLMs is just going to be better and better as time goes on. I don't think that software engineers will be obsolete in our lifetime. I think our roles will change for sure. I think our responsibilities will change. But we're still going to have to oversee what's going on, make sure we know what good code looks like. Otherwise, any founder who vibe codes an app, high likelihood that they'll have to rebuild it from scratch when they get traction and start getting thousands of users, which is one of the goals for this. Is a baseline, right? A baseline for a very good production level application that has all the basic functionality of authentication, billing, error handling, logs, so you can go see what broke and where and how, customer support, the marketing website, API, MCP, anything, any agentic type SaaS you could use this as a baseline. So that's the goal for V1 of what I'm trying to accomplish in this. And then the second goal is to actually build my own product idea using my own boilerplate. So okay, one optional note, because my instance is now emitted based on needs to build before consumers can resolve it. All right, let's see. Workspace ID before initialization. Let's go back here. And then next steps. Oh, idiot. I need some coffee, dude. I think getting an application started the right way is so important. Having type checks, having schemas, schema validation, having, okay, nice. Okay, I like this. I like this. We couldn't load your billing status. I love that. So it's like surfacing errors to users off the rip. I didn't ask it to do this, by the way. I didn't ask it to, well, actually I did. I forgot that I did. I said handle errors and edge cases. So is there a slash billing page? No. Dashboard. Let's go into web, source, apps, just dashboard. Checkout banner, TSX. Yo, what up, what up? Sohum, is that how you pronounce your name? Sohum, maybe? Good to have you here, dude. Happy Sunday. Beautiful day to be live. Tier modal. Initial state. Okay, why didn't the modal show up? Also, it's crazy how it thinks that this is visible. Like, it's nuts. Based on this, there is no tier modal that shows up at all. And there's no like buttons that are clickable. Keep in mind that when you build out components, they need to be organized for the project to reuse them as they're intended throughout the application. I can foresee the tier modal being reused in many different areas of the app, including when a feature is gated by a certain tier and there's like an upgrade now button on that page on that feature. This modal should then show up accordingly and then lead them to the Stripe checkout, page. This guy's called me twice now. I need to call him back. I need to see what's up. That bro has called me 4 times since, like, while I'm on stream. Like, he called me twice today, once yesterday, and like once 2 days ago. Can't remember. So I had to call him back and make sure he was all Gucci. It's one of my best bros. He's a G. But am I using Copilot Pro? I use Copilot for work stuff. I don't use that for personal stuff. For my personal stuff, I use Claude, and recently started using Codex. I had never used Codex before, actually. But someone on stream, actually, on day 1, they were like, bro, you ever use Codex? And I was like, no. And they suggested that I start using it. And so what I'm doing now is on odd days of the month, I'm using Claude, and on even days, I'm using Codex. So I used Codex yesterday for the first time, and it slapped, dude. It was actually pretty solid. I one-shotted a couple things, and I was very happy with the results, and it got me what I wanted, so I like it. So much so that today, it's an odd day and a Claude day, that I wanted to use Codex instead, which is crazy for me, as like, I'm a creature of habit, and so it's like, dude, I've been using Claude for a very long time, and then like literally the day after I was using Codex, I want to start using Codex. But I'm also a stickler to doing what I said, so odd days are Claude days until I run out of usage, which it's like, come on, let's run out of usage so I can use Codex. But I don't think that's gonna happen on stream, because I've been rocking for about an hour 30 now, because I started a little bit before I started stream, and we're not even close, like 16%. And I only have, 5x. Oh, that's right, because they increase the limits, because I only pay $100 for Claude. I don't do the $200 plan, but I want to say that they increased it when they got the deal with SpaceX. Whoever they signed the deal with. I think it's SpaceX. What about you, Sohum? Do you use Copilot Pro? Yeah. See, why didn't you do this to begin with? This is my thing. Like, you know, it's going to be used in multiple places, or at least if you were an adept software engineer, like, you would know that any modal is likely to be used multiple places within the app. So it's like, why do I have to specify to you that this is a reusable UI component that can and will be used throughout the app? I guess I just have to specify that. I wonder what now I'm curious what Codex would have done, dude. In this scenario, this specific scenario, I'll never know. I guess I could branch off of this one and start over and do the same thing in Codex. But your boy isn't doing that. I don't have time for that. What am I talking about? I have all the time in the world. I got nowhere to be. Well, I have the tea time. I have the tea time at 5:15. So I do have somewhere to be. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play today, though, dude. I haven't played in a couple weeks. I'm not very good. Like, I shoot in the 90s. But I murdered myself this week in the gym, and I'm, like, super stiff and super sore. So I'm like, my swing is going to be like the Hulk swinging. Just not great. What do you Soham, what do you build? I assume you know a lot about, software and coding and agentic coding and stuff like that. What do you build? What type of products do you like to run? Any specific niches? Let's see where we're at right now. Get it cranked out. See 17%. We're never gonna make it there. Let's see where it's adding this stuff. Schema, UI, source. So this is like our UI library, kind of. Yeah. I wonder what the latency is between me asking a question. Was this here the whole time? Between me asking a question and like the comments coming up, because I'm using OBS and I'm using this software called Restream, because in the future I'm going to start streaming to multiple different places at once. Right now it's just YT, but I wonder what the latency is. If I could get like an active user to like comment when I ask it to when I ask them to comment. That'd be sick. If you're listening to this, if you could comment as soon as you hear me ask you to comment, that'd be dope, so I can know the latency between the two. Because I assume, on YouTube it's going to be instant, but I don't know about on OBS. I don't know how long it takes for it to get there. Okay, so it looks like comment. Oh shoot. Yeah, so it looks like there's about a 15-second delay. You're a G for that, by the way. I'm a noob streamer, bro. This is like literally this is day 3 of me streaming, so it's like I don't really know like the best workflow or whatever, but I'm using OBS, I'm using Restream, and I'm streaming to YouTube. And so the comments are in OBS. I don't look at YouTube for those. But anyways, okay, this finished. Let's choose a tier. And I think I already have, it's so dope. The styles are still poo, but we're not worried about styles. I feel like I do things a little bit backwards of what is like social proof, I guess, because everyone like looks at the visuals, is like, oh, that's sick. But like I do visuals second. Make it work, make it pretty, make it fast. That's my flow of things. As long as it's working. That's like my MVP numero uno. So obviously I think this looks like poo. It's dog water. It's trash. But it is what it is. All right. And Stripe should be running in here, methinks. No. Well, should have been. We'll do starter. Can you check out? Nice. That's what I thought was going to happen. I want to say I have to do Stripe. What is the dev server for Stripe? I can never remember. Stripe init? No. Can't recall. Let's see what the terminal says. The Stripe dev server isn't running locally, and it's not connecting to the staging environment or the sandbox account. That's all I know. I use Whisperflow to like talk. I feel like I like typing more, but I think for streaming it's better. So it's like I'm external processing, basically. And no one's gonna like read what I'm typing. That would be crazy. That would be crazy, kitten. I don't even want to try and pronounce your name. Lad that commented comment. Quigago? I don't know, dude. I feel like I sound retarded. I sound restarted. Okay, fast diagnostics you can run yourself. Yes, I did this earlier. So I am aware. I know this works. Nope. Couldn't connect a server. Why isn't this working? It was working. 2004 online. What is this? Worker, I don't care about that one. 3. Currently I'm making a boilerplate application as a starter point for anyone who wants a production level SaaS application, Agentic SaaS application, more than just something like that Lovable creates, which is like a front end and a back end. So this will have everything you would need to run a one-man shop and strictly just write features and not have to worry about super big technical scalability bugs. So authentication, billing, rate limiting, caching, token usage in-app, meaning if you build a feature that requires LLMs to use. I don't know why 11 Labs always comes to mind, because that's like it's like the epitome of an agentic software. But everything that 11 Labs does under the hood, this boilerplate will be able to do. I'm not particularly coding this for that to be the end product. I'm going to build my own product on top of it. But what I'm doing right now, currently, is that. Just putting my years of expertise of being a software engineer into a single product. Cheaper alternatives to Claude Code. Honestly, I wouldn't know, dude. I use Claude Code and Codex pretty much exclusively. I would say, especially now that they just signed the new agreement with they just signed a new agreement with SpaceX and they increased the rate limits. I would say it's a pretty good bang for your buck. The way I think about it is if you had a software idea 4 years ago and you wanted to build it, it would have either taken you 12 months or at a bare minimum 10 grand to hire a developer to do it for you in like a month or two. So $100 a month, it's a deal. And I understand like everyone can't afford to shell out $100 a month for, you know, a hobby project. One might consider it, but it's kind of like a lottery ticket in my opinion. It's like, okay, I don't buy lottery tickets, but it's a higher probability lottery ticket. If you have a genuinely good idea and you're spending $100 a month on an LLM of your choice, and you do, you know, cold outreach, you do DMs, you email people, you collect email lists, you could start making 1, 2, 3K a month within 3 or 4 months. I think 6 months at a bare minimum if you have a really good product idea. And so yeah, I don't optimize for cheap, if I'm being honest. I don't buy the most expensive thing. I use Claude Pro. I think it's the one I have, just the $100 a month one. I don't use the 200. I just don't feel like I ever need that much token usage, but maybe it'll grow as time goes on. But I hardly ever hit usage limits. Excuse me. For what it's worth. What do you mean? What do you mean? Clear. PNPM install. PNPM dev. Am I getting an error right here? I can't tell. What? Go away. I don't like this term, this TUI, to be honest. But yeah, I think I'm gonna add like some sort of banner right here that says what I'm doing. I think that would be helpful because like I'm new to streaming, new to this channel, doing what I'm doing. So like, yeah, for anyone like new joining. Currently, I should do like a weekly, should do like a MVP, a weekly goal, and maybe like a daily goal. Maybe I could do that. But today's daily goal, it started off, well, it still is. Started off being getting Stripe billing set up. I have clerk auth pumping. What is this? And okay, I think it's working now. Yeah. Nice. So now if I go here, choose a tier, 19, doink. Okay, missing Stripe price ID for starter. Stripe price ID starter, your environment bad request. Okay, that's chilling, dude, because I can go find that. That is chilling. Let's go out. Doink. Out of the sandbox. Ah, my keys. Damn it. Why does this always happen? Now I gotta rotate them. It's just a sandbox account, but still, it's like, why is it every time I go to something that like is sensitive, especially when it comes to money, there's always just like keys in your face. It's so annoying. Do you think Claude Code, the $100 a month plan for Claude Code will suffice for vibe coding 3 hours a day? Yes, 100%. Not even a question. Yes. So I've been rocking for about, well, how long is this actually? It should be longer than that, but I guess I can't see. Did the stream restart? Because it just says 7 minutes. No! Oh, I don't know. I want to say I've been streaming for like 2 hours now, and I've been using Claude Code the whole time and generating some pretty big stuff. And I haven't hit my rate limits yet, and I'm only on a $100 plan. I'm actually only at 18% for 3 hours. For the 5 hour usage limit. And so in 3 hours from now, it'll reset and I get to do it all over again. Obviously, you have weekly goals, but I've never hit weekly goals. Well, early on when it was more expensive, I did, but now I haven't. So to answer your question, yes. Yes. Okay, so I need my Stripe IDs. Everyone's gonna go back and I'm never gonna say anything actually. We got starter. Copy price ID. Stripe price starter. Is that what we're rocking with? This one. Stripe is industry standard, for sure. I know Stripe or one called Lemon. Dude, I cannot type right now. Squeezy? Yeah, Stripe or Lemon Squeezy. My thing is, look at what the big dogs are doing, right? And there's a reason. Stripe is, as far as developer experience goes, dude, Stripe is the best. And yeah, they hold funds, but if you're cranking on money, dude, like, it's okay. They could freeze accounts, but they're just, if you're running a legitimate business, you shouldn't have to worry about any of that, right? People that worry about their accounts getting frozen or XYZ, their account getting flagged, like maybe you're doing something wrong, right? I've never had that happen. I've had a couple startups. Over the years, I've collected up to $27,000, $28,000 in a month. And I've never been shut down or locked out or whatever. I've had a partner who has had, I partnered in a business with a lad, and we were making $80,000, $90,000 a month, and that one did get flagged because, unbeknownst to me when I first joined him, he is a little shady. That partnership lasted about 3 months, 4 months when I figured it out, and then I bounced because I try and live with a very high amount of integrity. Anyways, all I have to say, His account did get flagged, and so they held, I want to say 25% of revenue for 3 or 4 months, which is a lot of money, right? I mean, if you're cranking, you say you're cranking 100K a month, which we were close to that, they're keeping 25,000 of it, and you still have to pay all your people, you still have to pay down your margins. And so if your margins are, say, only 30% and Stripe is keeping 25% revenue, you got 5% to play with and feed your family and your kids, or whoever you're taking care of. So valid question, but as long as you don't run a shady business, you shouldn't have to worry about it. Stripe price starter. Okay, let's go in here and see. Pro starter scale. So I got to go into Doppler. And do Stripe price starter. 2 more. Stripe price scale. I guess that's the next one. Pro. Let's go in here and check. Scale, yeah. And then we're going to copy the price ID. We'll starter's 47 on this one. It's okay, don't worry about it. We'll change it later. Starter. We'll do this one. Whoa. And then we got copy price ID. Well, I want to say for this, like an enterprise, it's probably going to be a phone call, but for all intents and purposes, we'll keep it in here for now. This is dev, so we'll save that. I think I'm going to have to restart the dev server for it to pick up these price IDs, but let's go in here and try it again. We'll just do a hard refresh. Shift Command R. Yeah, I have to restart the dev server. Because when I do pm dev, it injects the Doppler keys automatically, which is sick. Alright, so starter, I can't remember. I can't dismiss this, which is fine. Failed to create Stripe checkout session. What did it say in the network tab? How's everyone's Sunday going? We rocking and rolling today? Getting shit done? I I need coffee in a bad way, dude. And food. Not a single morsel of food has passed my lips, entered my belly today. It is 3:37. I did wake up a little later though, because I was up until 3 a.m. last night doing some environment variable stuff that I didn't want to do on stream, because like I don't want to rotate keys if they get out, dude. That's the most annoying thing. It's like everything you did, you got to go back and do it again. If there's anything that I don't like doing, dude, it's repeating work that could have been avoided. Maybe pick the wrong profession though, because that's like a whole part of writing code is refactoring it. I don't mind refactoring code, but like copy pasting values, rotating keys, it's just annoying. If you paste whichever one you see, I'll walk you through the exact fix, but for the dev environment, the most common one will come down to filling in placeholders. No, I did that already. Let's see, restart again. This is a 400 this time. Okay, what's it saying here? Stripe secret key. Did I do this one already? I'm gonna do this off screen. What? It's actually in Doppler. Stripe secret key. No. Click to reveal my ass, dude. Stripe secret key. SK test. Yeah, I did that. I'll pull this off screen too. Secret key April 18th. I think this is the right one. I think learning how to code is still important. I think syntax is not entirely so important anymore, like knowing the anatomy of a function, if that makes sense. But knowing how code works, knowing how different pieces of software work together, high level architecture, but like to get to the end, you have to start at the beginning, right? You got to start at the bare basics. So schools aren't going to not teach syntax, because that's what we've been teaching for the past 40, 50 years, right? So just because AI has been released in the past 4 years in the way that we know it, like code generation, doesn't mean that, you know, college classes are going to switch immediately. You know, I think 10 years, 15 years from now, maybe coding or software classes will look different. But I think learning data structures and algorithm concepts are very important. I think, and you have to learn syntax for that, right? You have to learn a language. But I think software engineering will still be relevant for a pretty long time. Our lifetime, it won't go away. Maybe after us, I don't know. But at that point, it doesn't matter. We're gone. So depending on how old you are, I guess you're probably in your 20s, early 20s. I think software engineering will be around for at least another 40 years. It'll look different, you know, in 20, 30 years versus what it does now, but yeah, I think it's very important. I think it's just a, wait, is it this again? I don't think you should be doing this. Bum, 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 bum. I don't think that I'm going to get to my goal by the end of the stream today, which is unfortunate. But we'll see. Oops. Yeah, we're gonna bounce here in a second, probably. I watch UFC sometimes. I watched the fight last night. It was very short, obviously. All of them are pretty short. I watch football occasionally. Not too much, though. Yeah, not a big avid sports guy. But I like hanging out with the boys, watching some football. I used to watch 2009 when I was like watching that more often, but yeah, not really. What about you? Do you watch any sports? I like playing sports more. Like I like playing basketball. I like playing pickleball. I like playing soccer. I don't like playing football just because like I'm old and decrepit. I get hurt. So what's going on here? What's my usage at right now? Yeah, see, dude, I've been crushing for, you know, a little over 2 hours now. I'm only at 19%, and you know I'm not doing anything too crazy, but yeah, $100 usage limits is wild right now. They've got to be losing so much money on compute. Billing is always tough, dude, especially in developer environments. Local environments, billing is always hard. Oh, it worked. Look at that. Sick. I say that, but that did take entirely way too long. Like if I was a user and I clicked on a buy button or something like that and it took more than a second, I'm bouncing. I'm like, it's kind of trust loss for me too, right? Because like that should be the most, like the fastest thing that happens is like the buy button or like the go to payment screen. I was on Amazon, this was a couple months back, I was on Amazon And I remember going and doing the checkout, quick checkout or whatever it was. I can't remember. I added some items to my cart. I did a checkout and I pushed the buy button, and there was a cancel button as soon as I pushed the buy button. And it's like, I pushed the buy button, but then noticed there was something in my cart that wasn't right, wasn't the right size. It was like a small and I needed an extra large or something. And I literally like I pushed buy, saw it, went to push cancel. And by the time I pushed cancel, it had already processed the payment. And so in this case, that took, again, it's the developer environment. So who knows if it would be slow in staging or production like that. Maybe it was just the first time. So it could be a myriad of things, but I don't like how slow that was off the rip. So that time was faster. Maybe it was just doing something weird. Let's see what happens if I do this. Let's see, add promotional code due today. Doink, let's see what happens. High likelihood of this erroring out and not doing anything, but I'm curious. I'm curious, kitten. Okay. What is this? Dev. No Stripe events. Users. Memberships. Owner. Workspaces. Have a Stripe customer ID. So why is this modal still showing? Why is this modal still showing even though I do have memberships? Workspace subscriptions. Okay, so this didn't work. We're getting close. Is this earlier? Yeah, I don't know which all ones. I think it comes up all the way up here. We'll just copy all of this. We'll just copy all this. 344.52. That wasn't 10 minutes ago, but it's okay. So I just went to complete a Stripe checkout session in the staging environment on my dev server, and I was able to check out. It created the Stripe customer ID in the database, but it did not create a workspace subscription. And so currently on the dashboard page, even though I checked out successfully and my payment is processed, I'm still seeing the error modal, or sorry, the payment modal that's asking the user to pay for the product. Here are the logs. Hey, see you, buddy. Thanks for dropping in, bro. It was fun chatting. Hope you have a good day. Strat TOS trade, Strats trade, whatever it is. I'm working on integrating Stripe into this boilerplate application. The application itself, as an MVP for what I'm doing on stream at least, is to just get a production level Agentic SaaS application up and running to where I can use it. I myself or other folks can use it as a baseline for a production level starting application for Agentic SaaS. So it'll have everything from authentication, error handling, logs, marketing, AI token usage handling, credit and debit system, all that stuff, API, MCP, and hopefully I'm going to get it to the point where yeah, correct. I have a webhook in here. In here somewhere. But anyways, hopefully the boilerplate will be able to be used by people of all skill levels. I think it will need some dev knowledge, but I would say if like you're a 2 out of 10 skill level, I want this app to be used by you, and hopefully it could be booted up in less than an hour, or yeah, an hour or less. So, but then after that, I'm building my own SaaS on top of this, geared towards infopreneurs that'll help them get more reach on social media by allowing them to reuse their own unique types of content and post to a bunch of different accounts in a bunch of different ways on autopilot, in a way that doesn't seem spammy or AI or whatever. Because I think that as a society, like we have especially on social media, we have a responsibility to not propagate AI slop. And it's like the only ones that can stop from doing that are the users themselves. And so this will not be a platform that will help users generate content ideas out of thin air. I don't want that. I want people who are already experts in their field and their craft to use this to help the world know who they are, and in different ways and different patterns. So think of someone like Alex Hormozy could potentially use this if he didn't have, a content team of 20 people. Yeah, exactly. But if you ever want to collab, dude, don't give up. Hey, go back to it. It's a good idea, I think. I think it's valuable. And even if no one buys it, dude, you gain acumen along the way. You gain business acumen, you gain coding acumen along the way. So your handle, I assume you're in trading, like day trading or something like that, based on your name. Your name reminds me of another company called Scripts to Trade or something like that. Well, there's Stocks to Trade, which is like Tim Sykes' platform, but I want to say there was another one too. Script something, I don't know. Oh, nice, dude. Data science is huge. I feel like that they're even more important than software engineers, to be honest. Like, what to do with all this data that's being collected. Super important. That's so sick. Yeah, super sick. Okay. Auth guards 401's masking the real cause before the auth failure. Resolve principal, DB down, schema mismatch, anything collapsed. Alright, let's see. What was it doing? Oh yeah. Let's see what happens if I do it again. I always forget. I have this VPN on my computer that makes things. The goal for this one is to, dude. Yeah, I didn't think that was a problem. It's just a timeout thing. Let's see what happens. Yeah, same. Yeah, I think it's a webhook thing. I'm gonna have to go back and fix it, but I have to bounce off of here actually. 4 p.m. on the nose. I made a lot of progress today. I'm gonna commit my changes for now. Commit -m. Billing whip. Need to revisit. Yeah. All right, fam. I'm gonna bounce. I appreciate you tuning in. It's been fun. It's been real. Keep crushing on, I think it's still you, but keep crushing on data science stuff, dude. I would encourage you to revisit whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is you want to build. Don't give up, dude. Oh, hell yeah. Bro, we could collab. I don't even know if that's a thing on YouTube, but we could collab, dude. I appreciate the sub, and we'll see you around, bro. Thanks for joining in. Have a wonderful